four-wheel drive light armored vehicle used by the Soviet Red Army from 1942 to the early 1960s for reconnaissance and liaison missions. This vehicle is a light armored car fitted with an armored body on the chassis of the Soviet versions of the Jeep, namely the GAZ-64 and GAZ-67. It has a crew of two, a driver and a machine gunner, and is armed with only one machine gun, providing armor that can withstand only small-caliber bullets. The BA-64B was given the nickname Bobik by its crew members. The recorded total production number for the BA-64 varies even in Russian documents. A commonly cited production figure is 9,110 units produced at the GAZ automotive plant. Of these, 3,901 units are considered BA-64, and 5,209 units are BA-64B. However, a commemorative plaque in the vicinity, where vehicles from Nizhny Novgorod are depicted, shows the number 9,063. Representatives of the Red Army accepted 8,174 units of the BA-64, which included 3,390 vehicles equipped with communication devices. Other vehicles were allocated to the troops of the People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs and deployed to the Allies of the Soviet Union. The BA-64 armored vehicle was designed under the leadership of V.A. Grachev, the chief designer at GAZ. The design work began on July 17, 1941. The design team included F.A. Lependin, chief layout, G.M. Wasserman, chief engineer, U.N. Sorokin, B.T. Komarevsky, V.F. Samolov, armored body, and other designers. On April 10, 1942, Grachev was awarded the third-class Stalin State Prize for creating the BA-64 armored vehicle and the GAZ-61 light Jeep. The earliest BA-64 model was based on the GAZ-64 Jeep and equipped with sloped armor plate. This design is somewhat similar to the German Army's SD-KFZ-222. On September 7, 1941, a captured SD-KFZ-222 was transferred to GAZ for testing and analysis. The first prototype vehicle was tested on January 9, 1942. The hull had many similarities in basic shape to the SD-KFZ-234. Additionally, this vehicle had an open roof and was equipped with a 7.62 mm DT machine gun mounted in a pintle. The vehicle was operated by a crew of two. The following day, the BA-64 prototype was exhibited to Kliment Voroshilov. The official unveiling took place at the Kremlin on March 3, 1942. The Soviet State Defense Committee adopted the BA-64 for use by the Red Army on March 14, 1942. This vehicle was prone to easily toppling over on uneven terrain due to its top-heavy design. The improved BA-64B model, based on the GAZ-67B Jeep, was introduced in 1943 with a wider wheelbase. This version also featured an added small gun turret. Mass production of the BA-64B continued throughout the remainder of World War II and ended in 1946. The last 62 units were completed within that year. The major drawback of the BA-64 was its weak armament. However, despite this disadvantage, the BA-64 was effectively used for reconnaissance and liaison missions. Another advantage was the high elevation of the DT machine gun. In addition to its high-speed performance and good maneuverability, this allowed the BA-64 to be deployed in urban combat, successfully targeting enemy infantry hiding in the upper floors of buildings. The high elevation also made it possible to engage aerial targets, but against aircraft, the machine gun lacked sufficient power and served only as a deterrent.